Hello friends, myself Professor B.D. Bhoknal, Botany Department, Associate Professor K.T.H.M.college, Nasi. Now today's topic is Rare and Endangered Plants of Nasi area. Now see among these rare and endangered plants, now the first plant now that is Adansonia digitata. In Marathi, it is generally known as Gorakhchinch. Now, it is found at Dindori and it belongs to family now Malvesi. Now, it is also found at now the Bhagur Devi Mandir, nearby Devi Mandir. Now, the fruit pulp of the plant, now it is used against or to cure the asthma. Then the second plant now that is Cresentia alata. In Marathi it is generally known as Bhopala tree. Now it is found at Duber nearby now Sinnar. This Cresentia alata, it belongs to family Bignoniaceae. Now generally the fruit, from the fruit the beggars now dishes are prepared and these beggars dishes are useful to beggars. That's why these plant it is generally known as now the beggars now the bowls tree. Then the next Colvillea racemosa. Now this Colvillea racemosa plant it is found in front of K.T.H.M. library. Now it belongs to family Fabaceae. Now see at the top now the red color attractive racemose type of inflorescence. Then the next now that is Saraka indica. This Saraka indica in Marathi it is generally known as now the Sitecha Ashok. Then it belongs to family Fabaceae and it is found at Prakash Nagar, Sikrewadi, Nasik Road area. Now, in case of Saraka indica, within now Ramayana, now Sita was sitting under this tree in Ashokvana. It is described in Ramayana. And that's why this plant it is generally known as now Sitecha Ashok. And from that now Ashoka Arist, which is also now drug, which is also now prepared. Then the next plant now that is Gloriosa superbha. In Marathi it is generally known as now Kal-lavi and now it belongs to family Liliaceae. This Gloriosa superbha plant it is found at Trimbakeshwar area. Now these stems of this plant it is generally used by tribal peoples for now these delivery purpose. Then from this Gloriosa superbha, now from the seed, the colchicine, now a chemical which is now obtained. Then the next plant now that is Ceropegia angenerica. Now this Ceropegia angenerica it belongs to family now Apocynaceae. And the Ceropegia angenerica plant now it is found at Anjaneri hills. Now in Marathi it is also known as now Kandil Fool or it is also known as now Hamam Batata. Now at the base inside soil now a sucker is there and the sucker which is fully packed with now this starch or starchy material. Then the next plant now that is Anthocephalus kadamba. In Marathi it is generally known as Kadam. Now it is found within K.T.H.M. boat club. Now it belongs to family Rubiaceae. Now these Anthocephalus kadamba, these plant it is associated with now Lord Krishna. Then the next Lagerstomia now parviflorus. In Marathi it is generally known as now the Tamhan or it is also known as now the Zarul. Now it is the national flower of now this Maharashtra. Then it is found at now Sikrewadi, Nasik road area. This Lagerstomia parviflora, now it belongs to family Lythraceae. Now see the attractive flowers, they are present at the top of the plant body. Then the next, now that is Ceropegia mahabali. Now this Ceropegia mahabali, now it belongs to family Apocynaceae, and now it is found at Ramses Fort nearby Nasik area. Now it is endangered plant. Then the next, now Mukuna. Now the Purians, in Marathi it is generally known as Khaz Khuzli. It belongs to family Fabaceae. Now it is generally found at Kol-deher. Then it is also found at now Dahanu area nearby Lakshmi temple. Then now here the fruits. Now here the fruit, it consists of now these hairs. When we come in contact with these hairs, then itching takes place. So these plant, it is also known as now the Khaz Khuzli or Kaskuhiri. Then the next, now Spathodia campanulata, in Marathi it is generally known as Piscari. Now it is also found at K.T.H.M.College campus area. It belongs to family Bignoniaceae. Now see the young, now the flower bud. Young flower bud, it is fully packed with water. When we press it, then the water is came out from this now bud, and that's why this plant it is generally known as now the Piscari. Then it belongs to family Bignoniaceae. Then the next, now the Bombax Siba, in Marathi it is generally known as Kate sour. Now this plant it is generally found at Kalsubai area, and it belongs to family now Malvaceae. And this now stem of the plant body, now it consists of now the thorns. It is fully packed with now the thorns. Then the next, now Kauropita guinensis, in Marathi it is generally known as Kauropita. It belongs to family Lacithidaceae. Now this plant it is found at Datta Mandir nearby Arches Gallery at Nasik road area. Then now here this plant it is also known as cannonball tree, or in Marathi it is generally known as Topgola plant. Then the next, now Curcuma aromatica, in Marathi it is generally known as Ran Halad. This Curcuma aromatica it is generally found at Anjaneri hills, and it belongs to family Gingivieraceae. Now it is used during Ganpati festival, as well as it is also used now during these Devi festival. Now the tribal peoples, they use this plant to earn now this money source. Then next, Erythrina indica, in Marathi it is generally known as Pangara. Now these Erythrina indica, now the plant, now the flowers, it look like now these beaks of parrot, and these particular plant it belongs to family Fabaceae, and it is found at Pandav-leni hills nearby Nasik area. Then the next plant, now that is Michaelia champaka, in Marathi it is generally known as Son Safa. Now it is found behind B.Ed.college now campus of now MEP, and it belongs to family Magnoliaceae. Now the flowers, they decorate the now these hairs. So the flowers are useful for the hair decoration purpose. Then the next, Bhutia monosperma, in Marathi it is generally known as Palas. Now it is generally found at Pandav-leni hills nearby Nasik area. It belongs to family now Fabaceae. Now from the flower, now the red dye is obtained. Then again now here these leaves, it is useful for the preparation of now the dishes. Then the roots, now from the root now a thread is obtained, and this thread it is used during now the Pongal festival in Maharashtra. Then the next, now that is Zacranda mimosifolia. In Marathi it is generally known as Nil Mohar. It is also found at K.T.H.M. campus. Now then it belongs to family Bignoniaceae. Now see the flowers. The flowers are now blue in color. That's why this plant it is generally known as now the Nil Mohar plant. Then the next, now Cassini glauca. In Marathi, it is generally known as Bhutkesh. It is generally found at Kol-deher nearby Chandwad area. Kol-deher at Paitha. It is found. It belongs to family Celastraceae. And now here, the stem, it is generally used now to keep away the ghost, and that's why this plant it is generally known as now the Bhutkesh plant. Then the next, Tabobia aurea, it belongs to family Bignoniaceae. It is generally found at Nehru Garden near Pandav-leni hills. Now see the attractive color now these flowers. Then the next, Gliricidia sapium. In Marathi it is generally known as Madri tree, and it is also commonly found within botanical garden of K.T.H.M.College. It belongs to family Fabaceae. Now generally the flowers are useful to kill the rats, and that's why this plant it is also known as Undirmari plant. Then the next, now Melina arborea. In Marathi it is generally known as now Sivan. It is also found at K.T.H.M. campus. This Melina arborea, it belongs to family Verbinaceae, and it is the important ingredients of Dashamul. Then the next, Kaigelia pinnata. In Marathi it is generally known as Zumbar. It is found now at near K.T.H.M. now these press of MEP campus. It belongs to family Bignoniaceae. Now see the inflorescence. Now the inflorescence it look like a Zumbar, and that's why this plant it is also commonly known as Zumbar plant, or it is also known as now the fruit Hatti Phal, etc. Then the next, now the Malotus philippinensis. In Marathi it is generally known as Kunku Phal. Now this particular plant is found at Ratangad area. It belongs to family Euphorbinaceae. Now from the fruit a kumkum is now extracted, and that's why this plant it is generally known as kumkum plant. Then the next, now the Cassia fistulosa. In Marathi it is generally known as Bahava. Now this plant is particularly found at Trimbakeshwar hills, and it belongs to family Fabaceae. Now see the attractive nature of inflorescence. Then the next, now the Lasiosiphoni ricoides. In Marathi it is generally known as Datpadi. It is generally found at Harichandragarh. It is also found at Mahabaleshwar. It belongs to family Thymelaceae. Now the leaves are medicinal. It remove the teeth from the mouth, and that's why this plant it is generally known as now Datpadi. Then the next, now that is Nothapoditis foetida, or it is commonly known as Maphia foetida. In Marathi it is generally known as Narkya. This plant it is found at Mahabaleshwar. It belongs to family now Icaniaceae, and now this particular plant it used against the cancer, to cure cancer. Then the next plant now that is Sapindus laurifolius. In Marathi it is generally known as now the Ritha plant. It belongs to family Sapandaceae. Now this particular plant is found within the Maratha High School campus, and now this fruit it is used to cleaning the hairs. Then the next plant that is Helictrus isora. In Marathi it is generally known as Mrud Singh. This particular plant it belongs to family Sterculaceae. This plant is found nearby Kol-deher area near Chandwad. Then now here the fruits it cure the now stomach diseases of human being. Then the next plant now that is Morus alba. In Marathi it is generally known as Tuti. It belongs to family Moraceae. It is also found at K.T.H.M. Botanical Garden. And now here see the fruit is berry type. Then now here the leaves. Now the leaf it is given to Bombax mori, and from that now a silk is obtained. Then the next now that is Parkia biglandulosa. In Marathi it is generally known as Chendu phal. This particular plant is found at K.T.H.M. campus and it belongs to family Mimosae. Now these fruit and flower it look like a tennis ball. Then the next now that is Strobilanthes callosus. In Marathi it is generally known as Karvi. It is found at Brahmagiri hills and it belongs to family Acanthaceae. Now from these Strobilanthes or Karvi, now these bee is now bee wax is obtained. Then the next, now Mitragaina parviforus. In Marathi it is generally known as now the kalam. And this particular plant it is found at Torangan and it belongs to family Rubiaceae. Now these leaves are generally medicinal. When the leaves are along with you, now commonly this plant it is generally known as now the success plant. When this leaf is along with you, then total difficulties are solved along with the leaves. That's why this plant it is generally known as success plant. Then the next that is Actinoddaphne hockeri. This plant it is generally found at Kalsubai hills or it is also found at now the Mahabaleshwar also. It belongs to family Lauraceae, commonly known as now the Pisa plant. Now the young tops it is silver shine. Then the next now that is Iliocarpus ganitrus. In Marathi it is generally known as Rudraksha. Now it is found behind the pharmacy college of MEP and it belongs to family Iliocarpaceae. Now the fruits, it is useful for now the prayer purpose for the preparation of malas by Hinduism. Thank you.